Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another first impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate for the Wii U. This title was sent to me by Nintendo so that I could give it a look and tell you guys my opinions on it. And I bet that a lot of you guys have been eagerly anticipating this video. I know that ever since I got a Wii U, I've been getting request upon request. Rurikhan, when are you going to do Monster Hunter Tri? When are you going to do Monster Hunter Tri? And it has definitely been a case of me wanting to save the very best for last, because I do feel that I'm probably going to spend quite a bit of time working on videos for Monster Hunter Tri, so I wanted to go ahead and take my time with everything else before I got into Monster Hunter, because I was aware that when I did get into Monster Hunter, it was going to be very hard to let go. So hard to let go, in fact, that I'm already like 22 hours into the game, and this was across like 3 sessions maybe. So yeah, and you guys might be wondering, whoa, 22 hours? That's probably a lot. And to the people that are thinking that, that probably means you don't know a whole lot about Monster Hunter, because 22 hours, and what I can tell you is that I've barely even scratched the surface. But I do not want to bore people too much with not the more boring mechanics, but the more technical aspects of Monster Hunter Tri. So before we get into all the technical stuff and how Monster Hunter Tri works and stuff like that, we're going to be doing a hunt. This particular hunt consists of, I'm not sure if it says here, yes it does, consists of us hunting a Kurupeko, which is a little beastie who is quite annoying. And this is essentially what you do in Monster Hunter. As a matter of fact, if I had to boil down the gameplay style of Monster Hunter, it's an RPG where you hunt monsters so that you can then use materials from those monsters to build bigger and badder weapons and armor, so that you can then hunt bigger monsters, of which you can then get better weapons and better armor, so that you can then hunt even bigger monsters, and so the cycle continues until you reach the apex. However, some of these stronger monsters are probably going to require you to use a group. This game does support 4-player multiplayer. However, for today's video, we're going to be doing it solo. Now, anyways, let's try to explain the basics of how a random hunt works. So, whenever you go on a hunt, which the game essentially calls a quest, you are usually landed on a little encampment like the one you're looking at here. There's a bed, which at any point in the quest, you can retreat back to the encampment, sleep it off. You will regain your full life, and I believe maybe recover your stamina bar. I'm not sure. I don't usually tend to sleep in most quests. I just do it all at once. But anyways, you get to this encampment, and there's 2 boxes. There's a red box and there's a blue box. Now, the red box is specific for quests of gathering or quests where you have to collect something specific that might be either harvested from a monster or just harvested straight off the floor. And that is where you would deliver something like that. However, for this particular quest, we don't really have to gather anything. We just have to hunt a monster. So we're going to approach the blue box. So what is the blue box? It contains provisions for your hunt. Like, for instance, if you notice, you will see on the upper right corner a hint of what appears to be a map, but it is not complete. Now, once you go to the box, you pull a map out of the box, boom, map fills up. There's also a torch if you need a light in dark places. There is some first aid meds, which they always give you like 3 of those. There's some rations, which I will explain what the purpose of those is. There are some mini whetstones, which I will also explain what the purpose of those is, as well as some paintballs and some cool drinks. And we also have a dung bomb for this particular quest, as well as an easy sonic bomb. So these are essentially provisions for your hunt. However, experienced hunters will know that certain quests will require you to have more than just what's there. So as you can see, I've also came prepared with 8 mega potions, well-done steaks, pickaxes, bug nets, whetstones of my own, and then there's the stuff. Oh crap! I forgot to empty my inventory before my last quest, which is bad because you only have these 3. These 3 sections of inventory. You don't get any more than that. So yes, this is going to be a problem, but that should be fine. Anyways, basically the point is I came prepared for this quest because I already know that this is going to be a pretty tough quest. Now, the weapon of choice that I like to play with is the gunblade. So let's go ahead and reload our gunblade. As a character in Monster Hunter, you have access to a wide variety of weapons, particularly in this one. I think this Monster Hunter title gives you access to the most vast and the most vast array of weapons that you have out of all the other Monster Hunters. But Not 100% sure on that. Anyways, let's go out into the field. Essentially, the game is separated by zones. This has always been the case for Monster Hunter titles. Also, if you guys have seen some of my footage on the Monster Hunter-like game Toki, then they also use the same method. So if you look at the map, each area is numbered. And essentially what this does is, I feel it just allows the game to preload everything that can be in an area, and it just gives them a lot of free memory to spend on like AI and stuff like that, because these monsters do have quite a complex AI depending on the monster that you're facing. Now these are just some basic jaggies. They're not really anything of importance. You will find these usually are like they would be the goblins of an RPG. They're like the lesser monster that you will face off against in Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate. Anyways, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to eat some rations because it's going to increase the size of my stamina bar. And that is something that you will have to learn how to manage when you're playing Monster Hunter, is your stamina bar. And what do I mean by this? The longer you stay in the field, your stamina bar eventually shortens. This is kind of to simulate fatigue on your character, and thus it will require you to eat from time to time. So that's one of the mechanics. The other mechanic is healing. You will have to heal yourself whenever you take damage. That is just a regular potion, fairly straightforward. And then there is the whetstone mechanic, which is as you beat on monsters, eventually your weapon becomes dull, and therefore you might need to sharpen your weapon. Now, like I said, the game is divided by several areas. Right now we are in Area 1. You can see that by looking at the map in the upper right corner, and we'll be moving to Area 4. Now, our objective is to hunt a Kurupeko, which means that somewhere in this map is that Kurupeko monster. Now, if you're the type of hunter that likes to get distracted, get sidetracked, there's a lot of other stuff that you can do. However, there is a time limit on your quest, which you can see on the upper left-right corner. Left-right? On the upper left corner. And essentially, usually they give you like 50 minutes each quest. So you have a lot of time. You can just like fool around and do random stuff. Like, for instance, one of the things that you can do is you can gather ore, which is also used in the crafting of weapons and stuff like that. Like, we got a stone here. We can keep on mining, macalite ore, and so forth. There's other things that you can gather. It's not just about ore. Like, we could go ahead and kill this animal here, and he will most likely drop some raw meat, which we can then cook up by using a BBQ stick, which I currently don't have. After you kill each of the monsters, you probably noticed that I scaled them using this knife. And this is how you essentially collect materials. Okay, like I said, we're going to have a problem because I didn't empty my inventory, which means I'll have to switch items out. I'll have to throw things away which don't matter, like stone. I don't really need stones at this point in the game. But anyways, let's go look for that Kurupeko, that sneaky son of a bitch. Let's see where he is hiding. But yes, the game does take a little bit of, I almost want to say a little bit of a simulation aspect to it, because you have to manage your stamina, you have to manage your limited inventory space, you have to manage your weapon, you have to manage all these things. So it's not just like, you know, an RPG game where your inventory is infinite and you just beat up on monsters until you get tired and then you go into town to repair your weapon. No, it's like your weapon grows dull, particularly if you are facing off against monsters that are a lot stronger than you. Now, you'll also notice that as I gotten into this desert area, your health is decreasing. And if you look at your character, he's acting like he's really tired. It's just like he's in the desert and it's really, really hot. Now, if you guys remember, at the start, I picked up a cool drink from the blue box there, which I'm going to use now. That is going to allow me to survive in this in this scalding hot environment here of this desert, so without actually taking damage. So that's something else that you will have to think about. There is also a hot drink for when you are in places that are far too cold for your character, or night hunts or stuff like that. Sometimes you will even hunt in the ice, even though I haven't really done that in this particular Monster Hunter. So yeah, there is a lot of variety in the types of terrains that you will fight. And I already know that one of the things that a lot of people are going to be saying, hey, what's up with the constant loading of areas and stuff like that? And like I said, that is something that is typical of all the Monster Hunter titles. Like, you always have to load up on the areas. And in a way, what that does is it makes it easier for them, I'm assuming, to orchestrate how the area is going to play out when you encounter a monster. And it also makes it easier when you're doing a hunt with multiple other players. Like, let's say you're communicating and you're like, okay, the monster is in zone 7 or something like that. It's just easier for people to know where they have to go to fight off against the monster. And as you fight these monsters, they might eventually run away when they're wounded, and each monster will have its own quirks. Like, some monsters will run to area 6, other monsters will run to area 3 when they're confronted and they're taking too much damage. So yeah, you will have to learn how the monster works, where the monster runs to, what are the monster's tells, because it's not just about hunting, killing, and scalping monsters. Sometimes you have to hunt and trap them. Like, that is the monster that we're trying to fight against. And he's going to see us, and he's not going to be all too happy about it. Now, the particular trick about this monster is he is going to call other monsters to his aid. Now, usually I've been able to deal with all of the monsters that show up. Let's see if I can repeat. The deed here. But he is pretty challenging. It's been one of the more challenging encounters that I've done in this character, has been the Krupaku in this level, because he will call upon other characters, other monsters to help him. Now, you will notice that I will sheathe and unsheathe my weapon constantly. That is just a trait of the fact that I am using a gunblade. If you're using a different weapon, you might be able to keep your weapon on for longer periods of time. However, different weapons will require you to use different strategies. Some weapons will allow you to stay with the weapon throughout most of the duration of the fight. Other weapons you will have to constantly sheath and unsheath them, because you're basically going to be moving way too slow. Now, I know that this combat is going to seem weird, because this is, for those of you that aren't familiar with Monster Hunter, because this is a combat where you have to commit to the animations of attack. So it's not a combat where I can just roll off. And particularly with the weapon that I'm using, it is a very slow-paced weapon. Like, this is as fast as I can move right now whenever I have my weapon out, which is why you guys can probably imagine that whenever I'm not getting ready to attack, I usually don't like having my weapon out, just for the sake of being mobile. Also, damn, it almost got hit there. Also, you can, sorry, it's just hard to focus here. You can do a running attack from when your weapon isn't sheathed, which does make things easier. Wow, I was not aware that he could just destroy that rock. Never seen him do that before. Anyways, you will usually be able to identify tells on each of the monsters, like there, whenever you see him clap his wings with those rock-like things, those talons, you will notice that he is going to be doing the fire attacks. Sometimes when you see him puff up his chest, that means he's going to either call a monster or cast a healing spell. So there are a lot of things that the monster can do. Now, you will see me circling around the monster, because if I attack him straight on, the rock-like things, the talons, or whatever you want to call it, my weapon will actually not be able to penetrate those because it's not sharp enough. So I have to actually look for the soft spots in the monster to hit with my weapon. Now, my weapon is a gun lance, so it not only has melee attacks, it also has, like, oh crap, he actually set me on fire. Let's get the hell out of here. Now, the thing is, I did eat a meal that gives me a little bit of fire resistance, so I have that going for me. Let's go ahead and dodge out of the way there. He's probably getting ready to do something nasty. Come on, let's try to do a combo here. Wow, my weapon is just... Oh, you bastard. Come on. There we go. Oh my god. It's just, he is completely avoiding my attacks by turning whenever I'm trying to do a combo on him. Now, I'm trying to do a combo on him because they've changed the attacks on the gun lance from what I was used to. The only other time that I've played Monster Hunter, as you guys probably know, is Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. And in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, the moveset of the gun lance is different. So there are different things that you want to do with the gun lance there that are obviously not going to work as well here. Now here what you want to do is do a complete lance combo, and at the very end the character's going to do this, and you want to bust out all of the shells. That seems to be a really high damaging combo. Now, most weapons will also have a special attack, and it looks like he called a little friend there. Like I said, this guy's special ability is calling over friends, which is why I thought this particular hunt would be interesting, because it is pretty chaotic and it shows like a really cool encounter in my opinion. So we're going to keep on shooting here. Looks like we've hurt him pretty bad there. Let's try and see if we can knock off a special here. Boom! Now this is the special ability of the gun lance. Other weapons will have different special abilities, but essentially you can't do that ability often. It has a cooldown to it. If you notice, my gun lance now has that little thing protruding out of it. Whenever that thing is up, it means that I cannot do my special attack on my gun lance, so I'm now basically reserved to my common attacks. Let's go ahead and get a couple more hits there on the Krupeku. And I'm getting my ass kicked at the same time. Now, being prepared is something that is very useful, particularly if you're using a weapon like this one. I'm not an amazing Monster Hunter player, let me just tell you guys that from the get-go. The only Monster Hunter I've ever played was Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, and the main reason why I got into it was because I had a friend of mine who told me about it, because this is a game that it is very hard for you to actually, it's got a high barrier of entry, basically, is what I'm getting at. Unless you have someone that kind of tells you about the mechanics of the game, it might not seem very appealing. However, it is an incredibly rewarding game, particularly if you have friends to play with you. It just makes the experience all that much better. However, it is still a great single-player experience, make no mistake. Wow, this Great Jaggy is really messing with our combos here. Let's try to nail him down. He's just like a secondary monster, so he's not supposed to be that tough. Particularly with the weapon that I have right now. If you guys are wondering, this is the Steel Gun Lance. Take that, goddamn you. You want to mess with me? Now, you will notice that I think it said there that weapon power has decreased. Now, if you look at the upper left corner, you will notice that my weapon is like glowing red and the blade looks like it's rather dented. That is the mechanic that I've mentioned of the weapons dulling as you fight. So right now the weapon is not as sharp as it was at the start of the fight. That means that it is not only going to do less damage, but there is also something else, which is some monsters will have different levels of armor. Now in the case of the Great Jaggy, he's a pretty squishy target, so it's not a really big problem. But different monsters will have different levels of armor. And for instance, if there is a more armored monster, you might have problems penetrating and your weapon is just going to consistently bounce off unless it is fully sharpened. Now let's try to just get rid of this Jaggy, because like I said, he's pretty squishy, so the fact that my weapon is not fully sharpened doesn't really matter all that much. You'll also notice that the Krupeku has abandoned the site. I've just wasted my special, which was a terrible waste. But I should be able to take out this guy right here. Oh, you bastard. Looks like he's going to be making a run for it. Like I said, monsters, when they get wounded, they will run for it. Now, usually, if you have enough time, you might be able to put a paintball on a monster, and that will mark him in the map. But the situation got so chaotic there, together with the commentary that I'm trying to do, that it just made it really hard for me to actually get anything of the sorts made. Now, let's go ahead, eat a ration here, and let's grab one of those mini whetstones. Now, something to be concerned is when monsters run away, they usually tend to go to a place where they can rest and heal. So they might be healing some of their hit points back to life. There is no way... Oh, look who's back. Hello. Welcome back, Krupeku. I just ran your little buddy away there. It's too bad that I wasted the special on the Great Jaggy, because I could have totally used that right now as he was landing. That would have been amazing. Now, there are also, like I said, this game is really, really complex. And when I say complex, I don't mean like it is hard to figure out. Sorry about that little audio cut there. It's just, like I told you guys, I do have a cough, so I just burst into cough there. Let's go ahead and keep on just wailing on this guy. But like I said, while the game is complex, it's not that it's very hard to learn, it's just that it's got a lot of depth to it. Like, what you're seeing right here is a very basic fight. I brought my weapon, and I'm beating a monster. I'm using healing items, I'm using stamina regenerating items, This particular monster happens to call other monsters to its aid, but it's still a fairly straightforward fight. You're just like beating on the monster and trying to kill it. You will look at the fact that he is foaming at the mouth and stuff like that, and that he is tripping all over himself when he's running. That is a tell that he is weak. So you want to press on as much as you can to prevent him from fleeing away. You don't want to get yourself distracted with other monsters if your main objective is to hunt this one. I'm actually going to go ahead and start shooting the crap out of him. Now here's a new addition that I really like for the gun blades, which is the fact that you can actually reload the gun blade if you just spam the shoot button. I think that is an amazing feature because there were a lot of times that I would have to constantly reload in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite when I actually just wanted to shoot the crap out of everything in front of me. Let's reload. We have our special here. Let's go ahead and try for the special. That's it. Boosh! Double hit. That was sweet. That was friggin' sweet. And let me just tell you, I mean, right now for me, this is not a particularly engaging fight because I've killed this monster already. But whenever you are killing a monster for the very first time, it is just this amazing feel of adrenaline. And when you get like a first hunt on a monster that was really challenging, it is really great. So you guys can only imagine the great feeling that it is to make this particular hunt the very first time. Boom! Now, the reason why I'm hunting him right now is because I can actually craft a new gun lance from bits and pieces that you get from hunting this particular monster. Here comes the fire attacks. Let's go ahead and block those off. Ooh, sweet. Didn't do that many. Oh, I'm just trying to run away at this point. Like I said, I am a little bit clumsy because I am wielding a very unwieldy weapon. Let's go ahead. Oops, I didn't mean to do that, but that's fine. Okay, this is not looking too good for us right now. Let's run away. Oh no. Yeah, if you get too much of a beating, you will eventually get stunned. You guys might wonder what exactly is that little green thing that is helping me. That is a Cha-Cha. In Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, you had these cats that you could take with you to hunts. This is kind of like the Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate version of that. I believe that you can get 2 followers that can come with you on adventures, but I haven't really found the second one yet. And like I said, I'm 22 hours in. Then again, that could also just mean that I suck at the game, but I don't know. I just think that there is a tremendous amount of content, and I haven't even touched any of the multiplayer content, which can be made by single-player content, and I've only done one arena fight. Now, it is going to be very hard for me to fully explain to you the more nuanced details. Oh, did I get a paintball? I did get a paintball on him. Sweet. It is going to be very hard for me to explain everything there is to know about Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate in one video, so it's not going to happen. I will, however, be making multiple videos of this particular game on the channel, so if you're curious for more, it is definitely going to be making its way to the channel. Now, if you guys notice, since I used the paintball on him, I know exactly where he's going to. I know exactly where he's coming next, which is obviously useful when you're trying to chase your target down. He's going to trample me, but my ultimate is ready to come again. Here you will also see a very annoying monster, which is this insect. He can stun you. So that's something that you have to be careful with. Boom! Another ultimate. Let's go ahead, try to get a little bit of a combo action in there. Let's go ahead to the side. That's it. Puff up your chest just like that. And... damn it. I missed that last hit. Let's try this again. Oh, he's on the ground. Come on, let's see if we can do a full combo here. 1, 2, come on. Nail him, damn it. It's those friggin' talons in the wings. They block everything. Okay, we got a nice little combo there. Let's move away for a little bit. Here we go, here we go. Don't you run away from me now. Also, our stamina bar has decreased a little bit. Should I go for a well-done steak? No, I mean, it's still enough to... at least it should be enough. There he goes, onto the floor again. He is probably really tired at this point, so we want to make as much use of that as possible. Oh, come on. Come on, Kuropeku, you know you want this. You're going down, and I'm going to take everything you got. Damn it, he's running away again. Now, I can't actually do this. I'm not sure if I'm going to hit him, but the peculiar thing about the gun lance, well, not peculiar, but one of the things about the gun lance is that whenever you want to put out a shell, which essentially is shooting a shot of the gun lance, it fires wherever you're aiming. So you have an attack that actually makes the gun lance aim all the way upwards, and then you can shoot a shot, and if there's something directly above you, it will hit them. So it's one of the reasons why I really, really like the gun lance. I will be showing you guys, I will be telling you guys all of the weapons that are available. I'm not sure if I will be able to show you guys any more weapons. I mean, I guess I can show you sword and shield because I did made a sword and shield just for fun. Although my main thing is definitely the gun lance. So let's go ahead, beat on this guy a little bit more. He's calling for the Great Jaggy again. Looks like we have our ultimate. Okay. That's it. Stay there just for a little bit. Oh, you bastard. I thought you were going to do something else. Good job. That's fine. I'm going to attack you while I'm burning in everything. Burning in seething hatred. There you go. So much for the Kurupeku. There's the Great Jaggy. He's going to be a nuisance, but we can't actually die because once you complete a quest, you are not going to be taking any more damage. So that should be fine. As you can see, yep, no damage taken. And I don't care about him right now because all I want to do is scale all the materials I can off of the Kurupeku. Now look, Great Jag, you are going to let me get one more... You're going to let me get one more carve off of this beast. Okay, looks like I've gotten everything, so at this point I don't really care what happens. So come here, Great Jaggy. Come here, I got something for you. Here it goes. Boom! To the face! Now what I'm doing now doesn't even matter because the quest's already ended, so it's like pointless. However, if you still kill the Great Jag, you might still be able to carve off the materials, and that still counts. Oh, there's also a black cat over there. Black cats in Monster Hunter, they essentially try to rip you off. Like, they will actually steal items off your inventory. So you can imagine like how chaotic a quest or a hunt can get when you have all of these things that can happen at once. Like, they also give you like a screenshot of what happened at the end of the hunt, and they give you rewards which are usually related to the monster that you were hunting. So in this case we get Peku Scale, what's this? Flintstone, that's pretty good. Nitro Shroom, Screamer, Kurupeku Feathers, Screamer, and Vivid Feather. And this is all stuff... Oh, looks like we also gotten some more stuff. What's this? Okay. And this is all things that can be used to make additional equipment and stuff like that. Looks like this is actually the longest Kurupeku that I've ever hunted, because like they will have different sizes and they will keep tabs, because essentially you're a hunter. So it's like, you know, when you I mean, I don't know that much about hunting, like killing deers and stuff like that, but I assume that the bigger the deer is, the more you have to be proud about. Like the same way when someone fishes something and they fish like a really small fish, it's not something to brag about, but when they fish a really huge ass tuna or something like that, it's amazing. This is kind of the same deal. They will tell you the sizes of the monsters that you've hunted so far, so that you can kind of keep tabs on the stuff that you've killed. Now, obviously, if you go into multiplayer, the monsters will be bigger, the monsters will be harder, they will deal more damage, so they kind of scale accordingly to the number of players that are playing the game. Now, this location here is the single-player village. Now, before we do anything else, let's go to our house. You get assigned the house as soon as you arrive at this village. If you guys are wondering about the backstory, I mean, the only backstory that I really know about this particular monster hunter is that there is a monster here called the Lagiacrus, and he is causing all kinds of earthquakes and stuff like that. And essentially, the village wants you to take care of that, but they also want you to take care of multiple other monsters, which is why we are hunting Kurupekus and stuff like that. So, this is your storage, and this is where you want to store stuff that you're not going to be needing throughout quests. Like, for instance, this is just a material, Monster Hunter Bones, Kurupeku Scales, Ice Crystals. Cool Drinks is actually useful for quests, but I'm not going to be taking it because I usually just tend to use whatever they give me in the blue box. So let's just store all of this stuff. You can store all of this, it's fine, and the craftsman will know that all of this stuff, the dude that crafts weapons for you will know all the materials that you have. So for instance, let's go ahead and switch our gear just so that I can show you guys a different weapon in a couple of seconds here. Let's switch to the Commander's Dagger. So there, you guys have seen me play with a gun lance, which is my favorite type of weapon. And now you guys are watching me, you guys are watching this, which is essentially like a sword and shield type deal, which is very different playstyle, but I kind of prefer the gun lance. But anyways, this is the single player village, and here is where you do all of your inventory management and gear crafting and stuff like that. This chick will sell you pre-made gear, which I believe the more you advance in the game, the better the gear will be. Like right now, if I want to buy a great sword, I can buy iron sword, bone blade. It's going to cost me money. You get money by completing quests. And the weapons that you have available for you in Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate are going to be great sword, long sword, sword and shield, which is what I'm using right now. Dual blades, which is dual wielding hammer. Hunting horn. Hunting horn is like a hammer, but it also does buffs because you do like music with it. It's kind of weird. It's basically if you want to be something like a bard, you can use the hunting horn, but it's going to work better on a multiplayer environment because if you're soloing and you're just doing buffs for yourself, it's probably not going to be as beneficial. There's a bow, a heavy bow gun, and a light bow gun. Do not ask me the difference. I know that a friend of mine, the guy who got me to play Monster Hunter, he loves bow guns. That is what he usually uses when he's like, we're going into serious business mode. We're going to do some serious hunting. He usually pulls out the bow gun and he beats the crap out of everything. There is a switch axe, which was introduced, I believe, in Monster Hunter Tri for the Wii, which is the first version of this game, which was available only for the Wii. There's the gun lance, which I use, and there is a regular lance. So there is a big variety in weapons. I will eventually show you guys more weapons in other videos, but for this video, we're probably going to be sticking to the gun lance as well as sword and shield. So this is the Smitty. He is the craftsman. So if you guys remember, I told you guys I was hunting a Kuropeko so that I could make a new weapon. And like I said, my weapon of choice is the gun lance. So I'm trying to craft this weapon, which, as you guys remember, I picked up some vivid feathers, which I've just completed the number of vivid feathers that I needed. I need 2 more sharpened fangs, which are actually not from that monster, but I also need flintstones, which do come from that monster. And now, here's the thing. After you craft a weapon, you don't just craft another weapon right after. Like, essentially what you do is there is an upgrade system in place. So, for instance, if you notice, I have the steel gun lance here. So if I go to upgrade my steel gun lance, I can then make a striker's gun lance or a Logia burst. And these are going to be 2 very, very different weapons. Like this one does a different kind of damage, which I'm not even sure what type of damage that is, that LI. Whereas the striker's gun lance is different. Like you can even see a preview. This is the striker's gun lance. This is the Logia burst. And you will see that a lot of times certain weapons will take on the look of the monsters that you've killed. Like if you pay close attention to this sword, it kind of looks like the Jaggies that we were killing earlier. That is because a lot of the materials that I used in the fabric of this sword were from the Jaggies. So yeah, you hunt monsters, you come over here, and then you craft weapons. Not only weapons, but also armor. So there's not just weapon craft, there's also armor craft. Like you can forge different pieces of armor. Let's actually just show you guys a preview. Like there's the chainmail vest, the lock shawl, the hunter's mail, hunter's vest, alloy mail, alloy vest. Like right now, the one that I'm using is the Arzurus mail, simply because it was one of the best armors that I could do at the time. So this is the armor that I'm using. But you can make Jaggy mail, you can do Renoplus mail, which looks kind of ridiculous. You can make a Kuropeko vest, which obviously you want to hunt a Kuropeko for that. And that is going to require different materials for you to craft. So yeah, like I said, that whole cycle of hunt monsters, get materials, craft better gear, hunt bigger monsters. Now there's more. There's also a farm that you have to manage because, I mean, you don't want to just be going out hunting for materials and stuff like that. There are some materials that you can essentially grow on a farm. So if you go over here, talk to this guy. He's the guy who runs all of the farming stuff, so you can check your crop boxes, which these dudes have been farming for me for a while. So let's go ahead and send these items to my item box. They've been doing some shrooms. That sounded wrong. They've been cultivating some shrooms for me. So they're already farming, but essentially you can assign stuff for them to farm, like specific mushrooms. Right now they're cultivating blue mushrooms because I use those to make healing potions, but you can also get them to do fire herbs, which are used to make gunpowder. You can get them to do bugs. They can even pick up bugs for you, which bugs are also used in the crafting of weapons. Yes, there is a lot of stuff that you can do. Whew. Then there's this pig over here, good old Porkins, and essentially what the pig does, I believe this is what a friend of mine tells me, I actually don't know, but I believe that he increases the number of stuff that you can get from the reward screen. What you got to do is you got to talk to it, and then you got to snuggle it, which you guys press here, snuggle. You get this little music, and when the music stops, he's going to have an exclamation mark on top of his head. You have to press A, and he's going to be happy. That means that the next time that you go out on a quest, your rewards are probably going to be better, or this is what my friend tells me. But besides the little piggy and the farm, there's also another service that you can have here, which is the fishmongress. She will send out fishing boats for you, which my fishing boat is currently at sea. But essentially, she can send out fishing boats, and the boats will bring back different fish. And the fish can be used for different things. Some fish is used for crafting, other fish is just used for eating and cooking and stuff like that. You have this lady here who is the one who keeps me supplied with stuff like pickaxes and bug nets so that I can keep on mining ore and picking up bugs. She also happens to sell you herbs, which can be used to make potions and cool drinks and hot drinks if you happen to be hunting on a particular cold or hot location, as well as a BBQ spit. I guess we could actually take the BBQ spit outside. This is the lady that gives you quests, and these are all the single-player quests. I believe there's going to be more after I do these. I'm just not exactly sure how that works yet, because I obviously haven't completed this. But besides all of this single-player stuff, you can also talk to this cat over here, and you can go to the multiplayer zone. Now, I'm going to go to the multiplayer zone solo, just to kind of show you guys around. But in this multiplayer zone, you can have as many of your, well, not as many, you can have up to 4 of your friends join you, or just 4 other random hunters join you and take on quests like the one that I just showed you. So let's go over here. And essentially here you will have all the services that you have on the other place as well. Like if you talk to that cat can actually help you manage your farm, the cat that brought us here. Then there is something here which is an arena. Now if you happen to want to go to the arena they give you like a preset of gear. Instead of taking your crafted gear with you, they give you a preset of gear, a preset of items, and they put you in an arena against a monster. And you can also do this with multiple players if you so desire. Then there is also the quest lady, I believe, which is probably this one. And she will give you quests just like the other one that I had. Like here, this is just the tour. The tour quest essentially consists of allowing you to just go there to pick up materials. And then there is a quest, the Handa Kurupeku, right here, one of the first quests. So yeah, as you can see, essentially same stuff that you can do as single player, but designed for a multiplayer environment. Then there's dudes here which will sell you food, and food will give you buffs for you to go on different quests as well. But like I said, this area is designed to be played with multiplayer, although you can also do those quests solo if you so desire. Not all quests require multiple players, but definitely, most definitely, all quests are more fun if you bring more players with you. Particularly if they happen to be friends with you and you're just like playing with your friends and communicating and stuff like that. For tactics, that can be a lot of fun. Like I said, he will manage your requests. Like this is just the access to the menu that I had in my farm, so you can manage your farm from here if you so desire. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be traveling back to the single player village so that I can show you guys something else, which is free hunting. Now, if you guys remember, well, actually, I haven't done anything that costs resources. Well, let's eat a meal here. This is the cat that gives you meals in single player, and essentially meals will give you a buff. So what you can do is you can just select different ingredients and make up a meal to your own taste, or that suits your particular character. Some meals that the ingredients that are fresher will give you better bonuses and buffs and stuff like that. So let's go ahead. Grab, however, I do like taking thorny meat because that always increases your attack, I believe. Like, as you can see there, the cat says, staves off the elements and boosts attack. And then it's also going to give you these additional skills depending on the way that you perform the food. Like, this will decrease the likelihood of horn items breaking, horn items being stuff like the hunting horn, and boost thunder resistance. But you can switch. Instead of sauteed, you can have the stuff stewed. That is going to give you different bonuses. But like I said, this game is very, very overwhelming. Now, let's pay with cash. You can also pay with resources. And resources, you're required to go on free hunting. And I think I might just be complicating things a little bit too much. Let's just grab the BBQ spit and let's go outside, do a barbecue, and finish off this video in style, right? Let's say remove items, item box. I do believe I have a BBQ spit here somewhere. Here it is. Let's take this BBQ spit with us. Let's go outside, kill ourselves a big slab of meat, and cook it. Because that's something that you can do. Now this, the Moga Woods is a place that you can just free roam. You don't really have to fulfill anything for quests or anything like that. You can just run around there, hunt the monsters that happen to show up. And you can also do stuff like gather materials, stuff like that. Like if you wanted to hunt this monster, you can. You can just like whip out your sword, hunt him down. Of course, the sword is not going to make as much damage as the gun lance, but you will notice that it is a very different weapon. Now let's go ahead and carve this. Because with the sword, you can actually dodge stuff. Like you can dodge to the sides. It is a much more agile weapon. Oops. It is a much more agile weapon. You can also shield slam stuff, which will help you stun animals. Like if you do this, yeah, there's the shield slam. Like I said, dodging, you can also block. You can also attack from block, which is pretty useful. And then there's different things that you can harvest. Like here we can harvest this. This usually gives herbs. Herbs which then can be used. They can be combined for you to make... potions and stuff like that. You can combine different materials. You can make traps. Like the game scales up to a level of complexity that is insane. Like you can go all the way to make traps for monsters. You can lure the monsters by using raw meat into a trap, and when they fall onto the trap, you can have like bombs there so that you can explode those bombs and like deal lots of damage to the monsters. It gets really, really tactical. It's really, really cool. Anyways, we're gonna kill an Aptonoth here, like I said. Now we're gonna... Hey! Aren't you aggressive? What's up with that? Get killed. Trying to mess with me. I told you guys I was gonna make a goddamn barbecue, and I'm gonna carve the meat off of this dude right here. And after doing that, that is going to give us some raw meat for our inventory. And then we're gonna pull out the BBQ spit, like I said, and we're gonna make ourselves a barbecue. And here's another minigame with the music. Have to pay attention when the music stops. The meat's going to switch colors, and that is exactly when you want it. Right there.
Tasty.
Well done steak. And well done steaks essentially will increase your stamina. So there's a lot more stuff to talk about when it comes to Monster Hunter Tribe, but I hope you guys got a very basic idea of what it's all about. And what I can tell you is that I love the Monster Hunter franchise. It is a lot of fun. And it is one of the main reasons, definitely, why I bought a Wii U. Now, if you're talking in terms of graphics and stuff like that, I was a little bit disappointed because the graphics are not that great. I was expecting the graphics to look a lot better. But this essentially is a game which was ported from the Wii onto the 3DS and then also to the Wii U. So it's just like the textures are upscaled, but they're not amazing. The game doesn't look amazing. But the gameplay is all that really matters for this particular title. Well, that was not a great idea, was it? Press the wrong button there. Yeah. Unfortunately, I only got to show you guys the sword and the gun lance, but hopefully I will show you guys more in future videos of Monster Hunter Tri to come. But as per usual, leave me your comments, feedback, all that kinds of good stuff in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.